Good morning, everybody. This is me again, your teacher of English, Arabic Susi. Today, inshallah, we are going to see a new lesson of grammar. Last time we saw the past perfect simple. Today, inshallah, we are going to see the past perfect continuous. Let's study the sentences on the whiteboard. The boys had been playing football for an hour when it started raining. Sentence number 2. The room was in a total mess because the boys had been playing. Now let's see the first one. The boys had been playing football for an hour when it started raining. How many actions do I have in my sentence? Good. 2 actions. Very good. So the first action is the boys had been playing football for an hour. The second action, it started to rain. Now, they happened, of course, in the past because we have here a verb in the simple past. So the whole sentence is in the past, but which action happened first and which one happened second? Good. So they had been playing football for an hour. This is the first action. It started to rain. This is the second action. Good. For the past perfect continuous, which we can notice here, had been playing, this is past perfect continuous, whereas this one is only in simple past. So we have the same idea as with the past perfect simple. So this is the first action and this is the second action. But what is very important with the past perfect continuous is that it shows the duration of the action. That is to say, the action started here and lasted. It lasted, استمرت. It was continuous. It continued, استمرت, until another action. So this is what we call by past perfect continuous. It means it shows that between action number 1 and action number 2, there was a period of time. So this is the past perfect continuous. So we can say the past perfect continuous is used to talk about an action that was happening or that was continuous, مستمر. It was continuous before an other action happened. This is the idea of continuity, so that's why the action is long. This is the first case, so we use the past perfect continuous in this case. The second case, let's study the second example. The room was in a total mess because the boys had been playing. The same thing, we have 2 actions. The boys had been playing here, and here we have the room was in a total mess. So this is a status, هذه حالة من الحالات. A status وضعية in a past. The room is in a total mess. الغرفة في فوضى عارمة. Why is the room in total mess? Because the boys had been playing. Let's imagine the boys started playing here. The result that we have here is that the room is in a total mess. So the past perfect continuous can be used to explain a result. So why the second state is happening. So the boys had been playing in the room, and the result was that the room is in a total mess. I give you another example. Her eyes were red. Her eyes were red. Why? Because she had been crying. So had been crying, the past perfect continuous explains why her eyes were red. So these are the 2 actions. So it can be used. Let's say I'm gonna write it here. the past perfect continuous can be used to explain a feeling إما إحساس or a state حالة من الحالات in the past. So these are the two major cases why we use the past perfect continuous. So this is about when we use it. Now let's have a look in how we can form it. I'm sorry, the whiteboard is so small, I don't have enough space, so just follow with me, please. So let's take the first example here, and let's take the second example here. And let's see if we can denote or deduce a rule that we can going to write in here. So the past perfect continuous is formed by using the verb had, always. Had. This one is empty. Let's try this one. So had, which is the verb to have in the simple past, always had. Plus been, always been. Plus play ing. This is a verb plus ing, which is called a gerund. So plus verb plus ing. And this is what we call in our first lesson of grammar in the unit number 1 as a gerund form. So this is how we form the past perfect continuous. Had plus been plus the verb with ing, which means had plus been plus gerund form. Now let's see the other different forms of past perfect continuous in the affirmative, negative, and the interrogative form. So let's see the three different forms with the past perfect continuous, the affirmative, negative, and interrogative. Let's say had been playing. I had been playing. You had been playing. So we said last time that the same form is used with all the pronouns. Pay attention here to the form. So we have had plus been plus the gerund. Okay? Let's see the negative form. I had not been playing, you hadn't been playing, etc. So we have had plus not plus been plus the gerund form. For the question mark, or the question, of course, or the interrogative form, we have normally we have inversion. As you may notice, the inversion between the auxiliary had and the personal pronoun. So had plus the subject plus been plus the gerund. So you need to pay attention to these details when forming your past perfect continuous with different sentence forms. Let's see. Have you noticed something very important is that conjugating a verb in the past perfect continuous is much easier. It's easier than conjugating a verb in the past perfect simple, because normally the verb is just in the gerund form, whereas with the past perfect simple the verb is in the past participle. So you need to know your past participle of your verbs. You know to learn your irregular verbs. But with the past perfect continuous, it's easy because it's easier than the past perfect simple, because normally the verb is in the gerund form. Now let's have a look at some exercises. First, I will give you only a short exercise. So the exercise is the same question, the usual question. We're going to put the verbs in brackets in their correct tense. Either you're going to put them in the simple past, or the past perfect simple, or the past perfect continuous. 3 tenses: simple past, or past perfect simple, or past perfect continuous. The pavement was wet. The pavement in Mamar or Rasir was wet, مبتل فازق, because it verb rained all night long. Second sentence: He verb work as a teacher for 20 years before he verb become a headmaster, مدير. 3. My heart was beating, was beating fast. I verb run for miles, أميال وأميال. We wait, verb wait, for him for more than an hour before he finally verb come. Let's see the first one. The pavement was wet because it all night long. So, very good. Past perfect continuous. So, then had plus good been plus the verb in the gerund form raining. Excellent work. Had been raining. Number 2. He as a teacher for 20 years. So how many actions do I have? Working as a teacher and then becoming a headmaster. The period of time between the two actions is 20 years. They insist on the duration. So this is past perfect continuous. So had been plus gerund working as a teacher for 20 years before he became. Good. Simple past with a. Remember, this is O becomes A in the past participle form, in the simple past form, sorry. Number 3. My heart was beating fast. Why? This is the cause. This is the result. So past perfect continuous. Had been running the gerund form. Pay attention. CVC. The rule, they are doubling. CVC, we double the last letter. Had been running, double N, because we have consonants, vowel consonants in the word. 4. We verb wait for him for more than an hour before he finally verb comes. An hour waiting for him. Had been good plus gerund waiting for him for more than an hour before he finally came. Excellent work. So this is how you do your exercise in the national exam. You pay attention to the sentence. Whether you have 1 or 2 sentences, you pay attention to the linking word before here and before here, for example. The role of this word here is to put the actions in order. Which one happened first? Which one happened second? You pay attention to the some time markers, expressions of time, some adverbs of time. They show you the duration, whether there was. They insist in the sentence on the fact that there was a time before the first and the second one or no. And that's it. So I wish you good luck with your preparation for your exams and see you soon, inshallah. Bye.